Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone and good morning. This is Ashima, and in this video we will be talking about daily. The news events that we're going to talk about are going to be in more of a descriptive format. That is, we will be talking about the news events, and that is going to help you enhance your note making for us, or all of those who are making news events notes, or those who study or know more about the news event, right? Or who want to know about the important points of the news. So we'll be trying to cover as much of news as possible, as less time as right. So that is about this session. But for all of you who want to practice the questions alongside, that is, you're preparing for certain examination and you need a certain level of questions for practice as well. For all of you, we have everyday live quiz that happens, and this happens on Entry app. Right. So you all can download the app from Google Play Store, and over there on Play Store, after you download it, you can do the initial registration process. Once you complete the registration process, you can opt the language you want to attend the quiz or all the other videos in. That is, we have multiple languages for you to prepare in. And alongside that, we have various courses also running on the app. You can check out those courses and free videos and other stuff which is available. For everyday updates on this video, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you find this video helpful for all of you. Now we'll be talking about Economic Survey 2021, where we'll be talking about the key highlights of this. Right now, first of all, we must know about what Economic Survey exactly is, or what is the purpose of this document. Right, so it is an annual document which is presented, which estimates about how the economy has progressed in the last 12 months, that is for the whole year, how the progress of the economy of the country has been. Who releases this document? Now the document is released by Ministry of Finance, whereas if we talk about who prepares the document, so preparation of the document is done under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor. Chief Economic Advisor is the person who guides through the making of this survey, whereas the survey is presented by the Ministry of Finance or the Union Minister of Finance. Right now, when is it presented? It is presented just before the union budget, a day or two in advance of the budget, so that during the budget session the document is presented to both the houses as well for further discussion about the budget and the comparative study with the economic survey as well. Right now, this document is not, we are not bound by the constitution to present this. Right, economic survey is presented at the will of the government. It is not a binding kind of document in terms of constitutional perspective we talk about. Now, when was the first economic survey presented in the parliament? So the first economic survey was presented in the year of 1950 to 51. That was the first time that this budget was presented, and it was presented as a part of union budget. Right, then this survey was separated, that is later on in 1964. It was in 1964 when the budget and the survey were separated, or they were presented separately as they are presented now. That is 2 days advance of the budget. Right? Separation happened in 1964, but the first budget was presented in 1950-51 somewhere. Right? Now, if we go ahead to the certain highlights of this survey, first of all, according to the survey, financial year 21 has taken real growth at -7.7%. That is, there has been a degrowth for the first time. Indian economy has shown signs of degrowth for the first time ever. Right? Before this, Indian economy has never gone into a recession and never gone in a degrowth phase or a negative growth phase. Now, for the year 2022, the assumption is at 11.5%. If we talk about the reports from IMF as well, so 11.5%, taking into consideration how the reports of IMF have been presented. Apart from that, there were two consecutive quarters when the GDP growth rate had contracted, or there was a negative growth rate which was seen. So, a negative growth rate of -23.9% was in the first quarter, that is April to June, whereas in the second quarter, the degrowth was, or minus GDP was of -7.5%. That was in quarter two. So, for consecutive 2 quarters, we had seen a negative growth, which indicated toward the technical recession or a recession in Indian economy. How do we determine when consecutively for 2 quarters there's negative growth rate or negative GDP? That indicates that a recession is taking place. So therefore, Indian economy has witnessed recession during this time. So it's technically in a recession. Now there's a V-shaped economic recovery that is happening in India during the or you can say the duration of COVID. We have gone down, but now we are recovering, and that recovery growth, if map it on the graph, it shows a V-shaped recovery, right? And mega vaccination drive, which is being run by the government, that is helping us in gaining that V-shaped recovery. Now, the major sectors that were the silver lining for us, or the ray of hope, or who brought the economy back to survival, that is agriculture. It was a silver lining in the growth trajectory. And healthcare sector has now become a center stage for the economy, and how the government has put in efforts now to participate in development of the healthcare segment, to restructure the healthcare system, and to make new developments. That has become the center stage, or it has taken the center stage of economy, which is an important thing that has happened during the pandemic as well, right? So these are a few findings that you need to know about, especially about the findings of growth rate, about the GDP, about the recession, silver lining. All of these factors are important ones for the examination purpose as well, right? Now if we go ahead with the next news event that we have, so the next news event is about Vaccine Maitri initiative. Now, this initiative was started on January 20, 2021, and it will supply the made in India COVID-19 vaccine to the neighboring countries. So first countries to receive it were Bhutan and Maldives. And since India has a neighbor first policy, India has a policy of neighbor first. So according to that policy, the neighboring countries are going to receive vaccines from the side of India as a gift under this initiative. Which vaccine are we giving? We are giving Covishield vaccine. Covishield vaccine is being gifted to the neighboring countries. Now, Covishield vaccine is made by Serum Institute of India. So that is important, that who has made this vaccine. These vaccines are being made by Serum Institute of India. And under this initiative, about 5 million doses of vaccine are going to be given to, have already been given, in fact, to the neighboring countries as of now. Right now, we have not only extended our support to the two countries that are mentioned over here, that is Bhutan and Maldives. We have also extended our support to Bangladesh, to Myanmar, to Nepal, to Seychelles, and recently Sri Lanka is also being included in the list. Have we provided the help to Pakistan? No, Pakistan has not been named as neighboring country by India, and therefore we have not provided them the vaccine for the under this initiative that India is taking place. Right. Then, if we talk about PACT program, now there's a PACT program that is also present, that you have to have idea about exactly. So PACT program was launched to support the COVID-19 vaccine development in all the partnering countries that are there under the PACT program, right? So Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance, or BIRAC, CTSA, or Clinical Development Service Agency, and both of them under National Biopharma Mission and India SAPI Mission are implementing agencies of this program, which was for vaccine development by partnering countries of the PACT. Right? Now, going ahead, National Marine Turtle Action Plan has been launched recently, along with Marine Megafauna Stranding Guidelines. So, two programs, I can say guidelines, have been launched recently. Who has launched them? For obvious reasons, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has launched both of these, that is guideline as well as action plan. Now, for this, you can say a document was released on how to promote the intersectoral action of conservation that is happening, how or what efforts should be made for conservation of marine turtles. The document also has, how animals which are stranded on the shore, how they should be handled, and all these entangled animals that get entangled on sea or in a boat or in a fishing net, how to handle them. So all those guidelines and all the rehabilitation programs, all the coordination improvements, they have been mentioned in the document that has been released. Right? They have released a document for all of that purpose. Right? Now, if you remember last year in the budget, Indian government had announced that we are bringing in blue economy. And this step is one of, you can say, one of the stepping stones towards the blue economy that India aims to develop, right? All right. Next is UNEP Global Climate Litigation Report that has been released recently. So for 2021 United Nations Environment Program in cooperation with Sabin Center for Climate Change Law, Columbia University, they have released this litigation report recently. Now, what exactly is in this report and what is this report talking about? So, first of all, name of the report, Global Climate Litigation Report. Second, who has released this, UNEP or United Nations Environment Program. Third of all, at Columbia University, there is a Climate Change Law Center and that has partnered with UNEP for the report. Right now, according to the report, the climate litigations have comparatively increased. There's an increase in climate litigations that has been seen. So, how much increase? Nearly doubled in the last 3 years. So in 2020, the cases have increased to 1,550 in 38 countries and the European Union, whereas in 2017, there were only 884 cases of 24 countries. Right now, apart from that, climate litigation is still concentrated in high income countries, and that is a trend which is ongoing and is still going on. It has also identified certain trends like, violation of climate rights that are happening, right? So violation of climate rights, of fundamental human rights, these all changes have been highlighted in the report that has been prepared. Now, if we talk about UNEP, UNEP is also called United Nations Environment and was established by Maurice Strong in 1972. Now, it was established after the UN Conference on Human Environment, and that was held in Stockholm. So, after the Stockholm Conference had concluded in 1972, Maurice Strong created the UNEP, or United Nations Environment Program. And the purpose of this organization is to coordinate the responses to all the environmental issues and address them in the world that is going on, along with working with United Nations for that purpose. Right? So, primary, what is the primary aim? So right now the aim is to make all those 17 sustainable development goals applicable in all the countries, right? So to bring sustainable 17, all those 17 sustainable development goals into action in all the nations is the primary purpose, and then there are certain other issues that it is addressing alongside. Then we have urban local bodies reforms. So Rajasthan has become the fifth state in the country to have successfully completed the urban local bodies reforms and now eligible for additional reform linked borrowing. But what exactly is this urban reform that we are talking about? First of all, which ministry and which department are involved? So Ministry of Finance, Department of Expenditure. So Ministry of Finance has a Department of Expenditure, and that department is responsible for urban local body reforms, right? Now, the reforms in all the local bodies and urban utilities were done with the aim of strengthening the finance of these states. So, to strengthen these finance, what happens is state is granted with certain permission and certain amount through open market borrowing. Right, so Rajasthan, that has become recently the fifth state. So how much has it been provided with? So 2,731 crore of amount has been granted permission to via open market borrowings to the state. Now, state will get this amount for open market borrowing, as I have told you. Now, other states, what are the other four states? They are Manipur, Andhra Pradesh, MP, and Telangana. These are the other four states that have completed the urban local boundaries reforms. Now, what exactly are these reforms if we have a look at? First of all, state is required to notify floor rates of property tax in urban local bodies as well as floor rates of user charged with respect to the provision of water supply, drainage, and sewage. So, if we have a look at this reform, what exactly is happening? The state is providing better sanitation service, right? And if we look at the second purpose, that is, state needs to place a periodic increase in flow rates of property tax or user charge with respect to price increase. That is, when various prices increase, CPI, WPI, all of these indexes price changes, then there should be increase or decrease in floor property rates alongside. So if we have a look at what exactly is happening, states are providing better public health and a better sanitation service with economically rejuvenated criteria and good civic infrastructure alone. Right now, going ahead, uh, before we go ahead to the next one more thing that we need to have is that for any state to be a ULB, what is required to get this amount? What is required? So there is a list of areas that government had notified that when any state government identifies four citizen centric areas of reforms or completes these four areas of reforms, then those states will receive the extra funding that is supposed to be there, right? So during the time of COVID, there were 10 areas which were marked, and there were various areas like one nation one ration card, doing ease of doing business reforms, or bringing in ease of doing business reforms, urban local body reforms that we have just talked about. So these are a few areas that have been that were brought into highlight, right? Then we have Brand Finance Global 500 ranking 2021 of the strongest brands. So for strongest brands, the Brand Finance Global 500 ranking 2021 was released. And what is the new thing about that is, first of all, the top most company was WeChat. But if we talk about India, of the first from India and the fifth strongest brand was Reliance Jio of Mukesh Ambani. So that is more of an important news event because Indian brands have never been to that position. So Reliance Jio has become the fifth strongest brand globally. And if we talk about the other positions, it was founded in 2016 and is the largest mobile network operator in India and the third largest mobile operator in the world. Now, uh, we have already seen which is the most valuable and strongest, but apart from that, from first to fifth, what are the organizations? First is WeChat, then we have Ferrari, then we have Spur is a Russian bank, and then we have Coca-Cola at the fourth rank, and fifth rank is Reliance Jio. All these five rankings are important, right? Then we have COVID-19 response index. Now, COVID-19 response index has been provided by Sydney-based Lowy Institute, which is an independent think tank. It is not a government think tank. Now, according to this, New Zealand has topped the index. Second was Vietnam, third was Taiwan, fourth was Thailand, fifth was Cyprus, and India was 86th out of 98 countries. And Brazil was at the bottom, and United States of America was fifth from bottom, fifth. And what was this ranking all about? This ranking was majorly about the fact that how these countries, or all the countries in the world, have managed COVID-19 pandemic, how they have addressed the pandemic, how good are they with handling the situation and the people, and about the mortality rate as well. That is whether the mortality rate is going down or going up. Right? So these are a few things that were addressed during this. And according to that, India's ranking is quite important, apart from the top ranked and bottom most ranked one. Then a few one-liners. Dr. Harshvardhan, who's Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, he has addressed an event of cross-border mobility by World Economic Forum's Common Trust Network. So this was addressed via video conferencing. And National Informatics Center Service Incorporated, which is a public sector enterprise, or PSE, which works under National Informatics Center, Ministry of Electronics and IT, has completed 25 years of its establishment. The National Informatics Center Services has completed 25 years. That is important. And India and France will be launching Year of Environment. Now, this will be launched by the Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar and Environment Minister of France, that is Miss Barbara Pompil. Now, what is the purpose? Bringing in more environmental reforms, making more agreements in terms of environment reforms between the countries. Already in Assam, it has done a few measures. In Jharkhand, it is doing certain measures. So there are various reforms that might happen, and there are various, getting together of these countries, or MOUs that will be signed for various states for bringing in environmental reform in the countries. Then a rare maritime material, which is by the name jarosite, has been found in Antarctica ice. Now, this is a mineral which is majorly found in Mars. So it is known as Mars metal also, and it is very rare in world, or you can say in Earth. Right? So sorry, I just skipped the word. So on Earth, it is a very rare metal, a very rare one, and it has been found in Antarctica recently. Otherwise, it is a metal of Mars, and in Mars, it has been found in certain quantity. So this certainly, you can say, shows certain linkages of development that are happening in Mars, and it can enhance the study of Mars, or affect the study of Mars as a, right. Now, with this, I'll be taking your leave. Thank you so much. It has been wonderful interaction with all of you, and I hope that this session has been helpful to all of you as well. See you tomorrow with the fresh set of news events. Until then, goodbye. Take care. Do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more such videos. A wonderful day ahead.